Hey guys, welcome back to Top NBA. We're here with part 2 of our series where we're looking at 5 more NBA trades that will happen at the 2022 NBA trade deadline. Let's jump right into it. At number 5, Terrence Ross asks out of Orlando, gets his wish granted. The Magic are in full rebuild mode after trading Nikola Vucevic, Aaron Gordon, and Evan Fournier at the March deadline last season, with Ross serving as one of the few veterans remaining on the team. Despite this, the 30-year-old still finds himself in a 6-man role for the 1-2 Magic, a team widely projected to be near the bottom of the standings. If he hasn't already privately, Ross should be asking for a trade, one opposing teams believe that he'll get. He'll be moved, one NBA executive told Hoops Hype's Michael Scotto. They were trying to move him at the draft. They wanted to put him in a place where he could win. I think he's worth a couple of second-round picks. Ross is averaging 16.3 points per game over 3 games and has a reasonable 2 years and $24 million remaining on his contract. For teams looking for a scoring punch either in their starting lineup or off the bench, Ross is an ideal option who won't make it past the deadline in Orlando. At number 4, the Suns take calls on DeAndre Ayton, but ultimately keep him. Ayton and the Suns couldn't agree on a contract extension this offseason, meaning the 2018 number 1 overall pick will become a restricted free agent next summer. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reported that Ayton was only willing to accept a max 5-year, $172.5 million deal, one the Suns refused to give him. "One thing about me, throughout my whole life, I've always learned to control what I can control," Ayton said, per Dwayne Franklin of Arizona Republic. "At the same time, obviously, I'm disappointed, but I'm still trying to get us back to the finals. I still got to represent the team and myself well. I'm just a competitor, man. Just like to compete the best, and every time I'm in between those lines, that's what you're going to see out of me. Nothing else." A similar situation played out last year between the Atlanta Hawks and power forward John Collins. While Collins wasn't asking for the max, the two sides still couldn't agree on his value heading into the season, causing him to pop up in trade rumors. However, Atlanta gave Collins a 5-year, $125 million deal this offseason, with both parties moving on after previously navigating through murky waters. This will be the same for Ayton. Opposing teams will have interest in the 23-year-old center and will call to check on his availability. Phoenix general manager James Jones will likely do his job and listen, even if he doesn't make any outgoing calls himself. At the end, Ayton will stay in a Suns uniform past the deadline and sign a new deal with a team this summer. At number 3, Kings keep their guards, shuffle rest of the roster. Sacramento has its franchise player in De'Aaron Fox, a do-it-all shooting guard next to him in Tyrese Halliburton, and now a defensive menace to complete the three-headed monster in Davion Mitchell. The rest of the roster, however, is still a work in progress. A Twitter complaint from his agent at least got Marvin Bagley III back in the Kings rotation, but he's still a near lock to be traded before hitting free agency this offseason. Buddy Hield has been benched in favor of Halliburton, a role he hasn't liked in the past. Even Harrison Barnes should be a hot name at the trade deadline. Sacramento's backcourt is set. However, the wing and center position needs upgrading, with movement coming. Bagley will be gone by the deadline. Hield is likely out the door as well. Barnes, Tristan Thompson, and Maurice Harkless aren't guaranteed to stay in purple, black, and slate gray either. The Kings will be one of the most active teams at the deadline, although consider the 3 young guards off limits. At number 2, Zach LaVine stays out of trade talks. Zach LaVine should hypothetically pop up in some trade rumors before the deadline, given the 26-year-old All-Star is heading into unrestricted free agency next summer. However, expect nothing but crickets regarding LaVine changing teams. The Bulls have done everything in their power to ensure LaVine is happy before he has a chance to walk, trading unproven talent like Wendell Carter and Lauri Markkanen for win-now help. So far so good, as Chicago is 3-0 to start the season behind the strong play of LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, Lonzo Ball, and Alex Caruso. As long as the Bulls can stay relatively healthy and in the playoff picture, there's no reason for LaVine to ask out, which would be the only reason for Chicago to even entertain any trade proposals. While opposing teams may still call on LaVine's status, Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations Arturas Karnisovas will quickly hang up. At number 1, Kyrie and the Nets agree to a trade to a team outside of New York or San Francisco. With Irving ineligible to play in home games because of New York's COVID-19 vaccine mandate, and the Brooklyn Nets not permitting him to be a member of the team at all until he can do so on a full-time basis, there doesn't appear to be a happy ending in sight between the two sides. The Nets are 1-2 to begin the year and have tried out 3 different starting point guards with Irving out. Outside the Nets stadium on Sunday, protesters appeared to push through barricades in support of Irving, causing the arena to temporarily close before a game against the Charlotte Hornets. A trade may be best for both sides. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reported Friday that Brooklyn has taken incoming calls about Irving, but that it was yet to make any itself. Any deal involving Irving would need his cooperation as well, given his new franchise would require a guarantee that he'd play. The New York Knicks and Golden State Warriors are out of the question as they face the same mandates as Brooklyn. Los Angeles has adopted a similar vaccine mandate, although the Staples Center is exempt, meaning Irving could play for the Clippers or Lakers. With Kevin Durant, James Harden, and the rest of the Nets trying to win a title, Irving has become more of a hindrance than a help, and he will be traded before the deadline. Well guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to Top NBA, and hit that notification bell so that you never miss a video. See you all next time.